So after our lecture finished at 12:15, I have added some notes here. In the sense, we told that these 8 kind of combinations are possible if we combine this half wave, full wave, and half control and fully control concepts together. And I have drawn these waveforms. And although you could not see these waveforms during the course of the lecture, but they are available in the notes which are printed to PDF. Fine. So we told that we have to start discussing this thing, that is explaining why a circuit transforms from half controlled output to fully controlled output when we add an inductance to the load. So we had made a point here that half control output is possible with purely resistive load, and fully controlled output is possible for RL load only. So we have to now discuss and justify why VL waveform extends in the illegal half cycle when inductance is added to R in the load. Fine. So the circuit under consideration is a half wave control rectifier, and let us assume that okay, fine. First we'll discuss with uncontrolled rectifier. We can extend that same explanation to uncontrolled controlled rectifier also. Okay. So the circuit under consideration is a half wave uncontrolled rectifier. So because it is uncontrolled rectifier, we have to use a diode and not an SCR. And because it is half wave, the output is expected only in one of the two half cycles of the input. So we'll use a single device. So a single diode will form the heart of the circuit, half wave uncontrolled rectifier, and we will connect this diode in such a way that it remains forward biased in the positive half cycle. Okay, you can say assume that diode is forward biased in positive half cycle. Okay. Second, okay. So circuit diagram. Instantaneous value of the AC source Vs and the line and the neutral terminals. Also, let us mark anode, cathode, and in addition, we are going to mark the upper and lower end of the load as X and Y terminals here. So this is an addition for Okay. Upper terminal of load is X, the node X, and lower is Y. Okay. The current flowing through the circuit can be I of omega t or I of t, whatever you want. If you want to be very, very specific, then you can say this is Vs of omega t. Okay. Okay. This is the diode drop, or we can say the potential across the diode, and this is my device current IA. So naturally, we have the currents flowing through the load like this. So we have IL and we have yeah. So the load current IL, load voltage VL of omega t. It is the current is also IL of omega t. For simplicity, I am not writing omega t, but it is IL of omega t. And we have the drop across the diode VAK, and we have the source Vs of omega t here, and we have the current IA, right? So, but obvious, we can write that. Okay, fine. So one more. This is the source current IS. So I can write down the source current IS of omega t is equal to the diode current IA of omega t, which is also equal to the load current IL of omega t. Similarly, I can also write using Kirchhoff's voltage law. I can say Vs of omega t is equal to the diode drop added to VL of omega t. Okay, very simple to understand for a third year second semester student. Okay. Yeah. So now for any circuit, whether it is a converter, inverter, chopper, or AC voltage controller, we have to analyze the circuit over one cycle. So whenever the input is a single phase AC source or a three phase AC source, the interval of analysis is one cycle, that is 0 to 2 pi radians, or 0 degrees to 360 degrees, right? So we can make a point here that the above circuit is analyzed for one complete cycle of omega t, Vs of omega t, analyzed for one complete cycle of omega t. And when I say one cycle, it refers to omega t greater than equal to 0, less than equal to 2 pi radians. Okay, and next is one cycle is now divided into positive half cycle, omega t greater than equal to 0 radians, less than pi radians, and negative half cycle, omega t greater than equal to pi, less than equal to 2 pi radians. Another important fundamental concept is this about the inductor. All of us know that inductor is a component which opposes a sudden change in current through it, just like a capacitor opposes a sudden change in voltage to it, in the sense that inductor does not allow the current direction to immediately reverse, just like a capacitor does not allow the voltage across it to immediately reverse. Okay, so we can make these 2 points here, that inductor L opposes a sudden change in the direction of current through it. Okay, so inductor opposes the sudden change in the direction of current through it. Okay, so let us take an example. Consider an inductor L which is initially uncharged. So initially uncharged means IL 0 minus is equal to 0 amperes. Okay, now suppose this is that inductor, and assume that this inductor is connected to some form of an energy source. It can be either AC or DC, anything. Okay, so assume that when this inductor L is connected to the energy source, the current flowing through the inductor was suppose of this type. Okay, that means current flowed through the node X of inductor to node Y of an inductor. Okay, assume that an inductor L was connected to an energy source either DC to AC, such that when it was connected, the current flowing through that inductor was from top to bottom or from node X of the inductor to node Y of an inductor. Now the situation changes. Okay, if the source changes its polarity, naturally the source current will also reverse its direction. Okay, this is obvious. Okay, so if the source changes its polarity, naturally the source current will also reverse its direction. Okay, so when this happens, what will happen is this. Okay, so now assume that the inductor has got charged hmm, to some non-zero value of current. Okay, so again consider the inductor. Node X, node Y, it is connected to a source, and now at the source side what has happened is that the source has reverse polarity. So assume that if the source had a polarity plus and minus, so it pushed the current from positive terminal to negative terminal, and hence the current was flowing from top to bottom or node X to node Y. Now the source has reversed its polarity like this, and what is happening is that when the source has reversed polarity, it will try to, according to the laws of voltage sources, it will try to have the current flowing from its positive to its negative. Okay, so the source is trying to push the current in this direction like this, but understand students that the inductor had got charged in this direction, right? So the direction of charging current, for the inductor is top to bottom or X to Y, and the source has reverses polarity, so it is trying to push the current from Y to X. So now there is a competition. So inductor has got charged in such a way that current is flowing from top to bottom or X to Y. The source has reverses polarity, so it is trying to push the current in opposite direction to the direction in which the inductor got charged. So now what will happen is, in order to maintain the current in the same direction, that is top to bottom direction, that is from X to Y, inductor will generate a very high voltage equal to L di by dt in order to push the current in the same direction. So we can make a statement here that the source after polarity reversal pushes the current from Y to X, but inductor current before polarity reversal was X to Y. Inductor tries to maintain the current flow in same direction, that is X to Y, by imposing a high potential equal to L di by dt as shown. Okay, so now this is what will happen. Minus plus, source has reversed, the current is trying to flow like this, plus to minus. Here we have our inductor, and this inductor will now generate a potential like this. Okay, and this potential has a value L di by dt. Naturally, we see here this is node X, this is node Y, and you know that current always leaves the positive terminal of the battery. That is why naturally the current always will leave the positive plate of battery. This is what comes because of the construction and the electrical properties of an inductor, right? So by imposing a very high voltage L di by dt, it will try to maintain the current in the same direction, that is from X to Y. Got the point? It's like that. Okay, so in this condition we can see that X gets a negative value and Y gets a positive value. Okay, this is the basic principle. If you understand this principle, you will come to know why there is a conduction or an extension of the waveform in the illegal half cycle. Now after discussing the basics of an inductor, now you start analyzing the circuit. Okay, it should become very easy for you. Circuit analysis. Case 1, positive half cycle, that is omega t greater than equal to 0, less than pi radians. Okay, redrawing the above circuit during positive half cycle. So nothing, you have to just show a plus at L terminal and minus at N terminal. Very simple. This is my diode. R, L, line, neutral, Vs, plus minus. It's a positive half cycle going on, so plus and minus. Anode, cathode, node X of the load, node Y of the load. And you know that it's a 230 volt RMS or 326 volts peak kind of a supply, and the cut-in voltage of the diode is only 0.7. So almost at 0.2 degrees, the source Vs will exceed the cut-in potential. So almost we can say in this circuit, because the cut-in voltage is 0.7 and the value of the source is very high, instantaneously the diode will start conducting. So diode in this circuit will start conducting at the beginning of positive half cycle. That is what is called as a uncontrolled rectifier. Okay, so now very natural कि the current, source current Is will leave the positive or the L terminal, Ia and IL, right? So current like this, the current through the inductor will flow like this from X to Y, right? So when this happens, it's very simple. we can replace the diode or the conducting diode with a short circuit. So we can say here short circuit. Right. So basically the source Vs is getting connected directly across the load. So across the load we have VL equal to Vs. So the entire source is appearing across the load here. Okay. So let us comment here what are the values of VAK and VL. It's very simple. VAK is 0 because it's a short circuit. So we can say that during the positive half cycle VAK is 0 volts. Okay, so we can say that VL of omega t is equal to Vs omega t, VAK of omega t equal to 0 because diode is acting as a short circuit, and third IL of omega t as per the Ohm's law will be nothing but equal to VL omega t by R plus JXL. I cannot say as R because there is L also here, right? So the current will not be sinusoidal. It will follow the laws of inductive current. Okay, follow the laws of inductive current. So if you want to write it in a better way, we can say it's equal to VL of omega t upon R plus J omega L. Okay, so the load voltage will be sinusoidal 0. It will be non-sinusoidal. Okay, now negative half cycle case 2. Negative half cycle, omega t greater than pi radians less than equal to 2 pi radians. Redrawing the circuit during negative half cycle, that is L is negative with respect to N. So L is positive with respect to N. Minus plus. X, Y. So anode is getting connected to minus, and cathode, let us see what is the potential at the cathode. Fine. So as such, when the negative half cycle starts, because anode terminal of diode is connected to minus, so in the first instance we feel that the diode is actually reverse biased. Let us see what is the actual scenario. Okay, so we can write a comment here that when negative half cycle starts, since anode is connected to the L terminal and L terminal is negative, it seems that the diode is reverse biased. Seems, we do not know whether it is actually reverse biased. Now students assume that when the negative half cycle has started at omega t equal to pi, let us assume that the potential at L is very small, but it is negative. Okay, see here now. Assume that at omega t greater than pi radians, we can say little beyond 180 degrees, say at 181 degrees, the source Vs, Vs is approximately equal to say minus 1 volt. We can actually calculate mathematically, but we are just assuming. So say a little beyond 180 degrees, that is at 181 degrees, the negative half cycle has just started and the source voltage is negative, that is L is negative with respect to N. So Vs, say it is equal to minus 2 volts. Okay, so now students pay attention. Now here is the exact reason why we get fully controlled outputs, right? So negative half cycle has just started. Let me write it, that at omega t equal to say 181 degrees and Vs is equal to minus 2 volts. So the anode is at a potential of minus 2 volts. Now students, as we told, this particular concept that inductor will try to maintain the current in the same direction by impinging a very high voltage L di by dt in series with itself. So this is what we have to put it here. Okay. Now since the source voltage is pushing the source current from node Y to node X, L will impinge a high voltage L di by dt. Okay, fine. Redrawing the circuit now. Vs minus plus line neutral R inductor, and here comes our L di by dt. Complete the circuit. Okay, minus plus node X, node Y, anode, cathode. Okay, again at omega t equal to 181 degrees, let us assume that Vs is equal to minus 2 volts. Students, here I have minus 2, and let me assume that L di by dt is approximately say equal to 25 volts. If L di by dt is equal to minus 25 volts, okay, so it's 25 basically, right? So suppose the inductor imposed potential is 25. Students, we see that minus 25 volts is getting applied to the cathode. This is exactly yesterday's concept, that just because a diode or SCR's anode is connected to negative potential, it does not necessarily mean it is reverse biased. Similarly, just because the anode terminal of a diode or SCR is connected to positive potential, it does not mean that it is forward biased. Why? Because forward or reverse biasing is decided by the value of anode to cathode potential. So the anode of diode or SCR may be connected to positive potential, but it will still be reverse biased if the cathode is connected at a positive potential higher than the anode, right? Similarly, it is possible that the anode of a diode or SCR is connected to negative potential, but if the cathode is at a larger negative potential than the anode, although anode is at negative potential, the potential difference is still positive. So students, we see here that if the inductor is imposing an LDI by dt of 25 volts in order to maintain the current in the same direction and to oppose a change in current, and if I assume that the negative half cycle has just started imposing a minus 2 volts at anode, we see that the VAK is equal to minus 2 minus 25 equal to plus 23 volts. So diode is still forward biased in this condition. That is why I say that negative half cycle is actually supposed to commutate the SCR following the concept of natural commutation. So we see students that when we are considering negative half cycle, so negative half cycle means it is the illegal half cycle for this diode. Negative half cycle means that anode is going to get connected at negative potential. So as such, SCR should get commutated. SCR actually should get reverse biased as soon as negative half cycle starts, but this is not the case here. Why? Because of the presence of inductance in the load side. Inductor, in order to maintain the current in the same direction, it is imposing a high potential, and that high potential is actually getting connected to the cathode, and SCR is remaining forward biased. So students, from the source side there is reverse bias, but because of the inductor, the overall effect across the diode is that it is getting forward biased. So that is why we see here. Now it is a very dynamic system. Getting me na? It is a dynamic. So depending upon the value of inductor, the value of L di by dt will be decided. So let me put this point very clearly here. It's very important, right? So the value of the potential generated by L is a function of the value of L. Second observation is the source Vs is dynamic. That means what? It is changing. Why? Because Vs is nothing but equal to Vm sin omega t. So students, please understand that this 25 is actually a constant k, but please understand this value is changing. So now there is a competition at the anode. There is a potential which is becoming increasingly negative, and at the cathode there is a fixed negative potential. So there at one point of time, what will happen is that this particular source Vs will have a value which will be more than minus 25 or less than minus 25, right? So we can write a point here that consider the following situation. Okay, now I'm removing the diode from the circuit and in a dynamic situation, right? So I have this diode here. I have anode here. I have cathode here. Cathode is connected to a constant potential of minus 25 volts, and here I am having the source voltage Vs, okay, which is obeying the mathematics Vn sine omega t, right? So at omega t equal to 181 degrees, if I say the potentials at the cathode and anode are like this, so it is minus 2 volts, minus 25 volts. Time progresses. At omega t equal to 190 degrees, potential becomes minus 5 degrees. Cathode remains at minus 25 degrees. At omega t equal to 200 degrees, the potential goes to minus 10. This continues to remain minus 25. Students, assume that at omega t equal to 210 degrees, if suppose this potential reaches minus 26 volts, cathode continues to remain minus 25 volts. Let us see what is the potential across the diode. The potential across diode is plus 23 volts, minus 2 minus 25 plus 20 plus 15, and now it is minus 1. Students, minus 26 minus 20 is minus 1. So students understand that at 181 degrees the diode is forward biased, at 190 degrees it is forward biased, at 200 degrees it is forward biased, and at 210 degrees it is becoming reverse biased. So diode will continue to act as a short circuit at 181, short circuit at 190, short circuit at 200, and it will act as open circuit only at 210 degrees. That means what? Diode will continue to conduct till 210 degrees. That is, it will continue to conduct 30 degrees into the negative half cycle. So yes, this is the final step. The above table proves that as long as the potential across the diode is greater than 0.7 volts, diode will be forward biased, it will conduct, it will act as short circuit. And understand students one thing, that as long as diode conducts, it will connect the source voltage Vs to the load. Okay, so load is neutral It just doesn't matter which half cycle is going on. The purpose of the diode is to simply connect the load to the source. So if the diode connects the load to the source during positive half cycle, we get a positive half cycle at the output. Similarly, if the diode connects the load to the source during the negative half cycle, then we will get a negative half cycle at the load. So now let us put all our discussion and analysis in the form of a waveform, right? So now the final point which we want to write in order to draw the waveform is this, that the status of diode during the interval 0 degrees to 360 is as follows, right? So we can say interval diode status, or we can say diode biasing diode status that is short circuit, open circuit, and the value of VL, load voltage. Zero degrees to 180 degrees, diode biasing that it is forward bias, status is short circuit, and VL is equal to VS, but it is positive half cycle. The second interval will be from 180 degrees to 210 degrees. Diode biasing is it is forward bias, acts as short circuit, and students, the load voltage is still equal to the source voltage, but it is negative half cycle, right? So how much portion of negative half cycle comes out? Only 30 degrees. Only 30 degrees out of 180 degrees of the negative half cycle will come at the output. Load voltage is negative. And then the third interval which comes is the remaining part of negative half cycle, that is from 210 degrees to 360 degrees, which happens to be 150 degrees. The status is diode is reverse bias, acts as open circuit, and the load voltage is 0. Okay, so now let us draw the waveforms. Let us put markers 0, 180 degrees, okay, this is pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. Here I'll put a marker at 210 degrees here. So this is 90, 1/3 of that. So it will be 210 degrees here. So as we have told that our diode is going to remain forward biased all the way from 0 degrees to 210 degrees. So waveform will look like this. Two 210 it will become reverse bias. Again we have 360 here. Okay. Yeah. Put a comment here. Yeah. So if load is purely resistive, waveform does not extend into the illegal half cycle, hence the VLAVG does not reduce. Okay, so students, please understand one thing, that this particular portion which is there, it contributes to reduction in the VLAVG. So we can say this reduces the value of VLAVG, hence it is undesirable. It is undesirable. Okay, so as the value of L increases, this portion will increase. Increases, reducing the value of VLAVG. Worst case is this, since the circuit is AC to DC converter, VLAVG is of interest, hence this negative portion in waveform must be eliminated. Okay, so if L is very large, the VL waveform can become exactly same as Vs, thereby making VL AVG equal to 0, thereby defeating the purpose of the circuit, that is AC to DC conversion. So what do we do is the negative portion can be eliminated by connecting a special high frequency power diode called as free wheeling diode, FWD. Inductor discharges its energy LdI by dt through FWD shown. So okay, so last point, freewheeling diode does not conduct in positive half cycle 0 degrees to 180 degrees, and in negative half cycle from 210 degrees to 360 degrees, but FWD conducts only till the L gets discharged, that is from 180 degrees to 210 degrees.